Hey guys, how's it going? So today I wanted to tell you the story of why I stopped rock climbing in high school. Now, this video takes place about 3 weeks after the story in last video where I had broken my leg. So what's important to know in those 3 weeks is that originally I had started off with a full cast at the top of my thigh that went all the way down to my toes. And now, about 2 weeks after I had gotten that cast on, I switched to a half cast because my leg had healed enough that it didn't need to be so rigid, which started below my knee and went all the way down to my toes, so I could now bend my knee. Now, on May 27th, where the main story takes place, I was house sitting for a family friend, and I had just finished breakfast and I needed to take my bowl to the sink. Since I was using crutches, I couldn't easily carry something in my hand while using the crutches, so what I had to do was carry the bowl in one hand and hop to the sink while using my other hand to support myself. So I was carrying my bowl in my left hand, and I was hopping to the sink when I lost my balance and fell forward. As a natural reaction, I immediately let go of the bowl in my hand to put my hands out to catch myself. But what happened was the bowl stayed right under my hand as I was falling, so when I hit the ground, the bowl shattered directly under my hand and just shot a ton of little razor sharp pieces into my hand. I didn't really realize what happened until I turned my hand over and saw all of this blood just welling from a wound in the bottom left area of my palm. Right then, I kind of freaked out because this has never happened to me, obviously, and I didn't really know what to do, but I didn't want to make a major panic if I didn't have to, so I didn't immediately call my mom or dad or call 911. I went upstairs to the only bathroom in the house. I kind of crawled up the stairs as best I could and tried to take pieces out of the bowl out of my hand. I immediately realized that that was way beyond anything that I could possibly do at the moment due to the amount of pain that it would cause me and my ineptitude at any simple surgical tasks. So I had to then crawl back down the stairs and go through the living room into the kitchen where my phone was and call my dad, who picked up and asked me what was going on. I explained to him that I just messed my hand up pretty bad and I needed him to come pick me up and take me either home or to the hospital to make sure that this doesn't get any worse than it already has. So he was about 30 minutes away. He told me he'd be there as soon as possible and he hung up, so I spent the next half hour trying not to panic while he was driving over. He finally gets there, comes into the house, and the first thing he says is, "Holy shit, this looks exactly like a crime scene," because there was a bowl shattered on the ground, there was blood spattered everywhere on the floor. So he cleans it up, gets me into the car. I have to put my hand on his shoulder because I can't use crutches, and I get into the van. He takes me home. We get into the bathroom at my house, and he tries to take out as many pieces of the bowl as he can. He manages to get about 4 pieces out before it hurts way too much for him to keep digging around in there. So he's trying to think about whether or not we should go to the ER or just wait a day or two and schedule an appointment at the hospital with a doctor that we know. So we had a family friend that was a doctor, so we call him up and ask if we could come to his house, which was about 10 minutes away, just to have him check my hand out and tell us what we should do. He says yes, so we get in the car, drive over there, get to his house. He takes a look at my hand and immediately says, "You guys need to go to the emergency room. You should not wait on this at all." So we get back into the car, drive 20 minutes to the emergency room, sign in, wait about 20 minutes, get into the doctor's room where he then gives me local anesthesia, which doesn't help at all, and begins digging around in my hand. After about 15 minutes of what I can only describe as torture, he's gotten 5 more pieces of the bowl out of my hand and tells me that there's nothing left in my hand that could cause me further harm. He stitches up my hand, gives me a prescription for painkillers, and sends me home. So now, because I've got a bad hand and a bad leg, I can't use crutches anymore. So I'm left with the only option of using a wheelchair with one hand and one leg to propel myself. So I'm sure that I looked like an absolute mess of a person. Anyway, because I had messed up my hand so badly, I lost a great deal of feeling in my left thumb, and one of the muscles at the bottom of the thumb, the nerves had been severed, so it atrophied and I lost a ton of grip strength that I had. Even after my hand had healed fully and everything was back to working condition, I didn't regain full feeling in my left thumb, and I still have a decent lack of grip strength in my left hand because the muscle never fully came back due to the nerves not growing again after they had been severed. Because of this, after the wound had healed fully and more or less for the rest of high school, I couldn't really rock climb that much because either I couldn't grab the holds fully, or there was even pain sometimes if I put weight on my hand that it would stretch a tight muscle or tendon that had atrophied a little bit in my hand that hadn't really come back fully. So for the rest of high school, I couldn't really climb at all. However, without any of this happening, I wouldn't have gotten so into TF2 because it was at that time that I had just built my computer a month or two earlier and was just discovering TF2. So because I was so incapacitated and I couldn't really go out and hang out with friends and stuff as much as I wanted to, I was stuck inside and I didn't really have much to do. So I resorted to gaming a lot more than I normally would have. And I found TF2, started playing, got really into it. And without any of this, I wouldn't have started streaming, I wouldn't have, I guess, begun making YouTube videos, and I wouldn't be at my desk recording this video if it hadn't been for that. So I guess while it sucks, I'm also kind of grateful because it's led me to meet so many great people through, I guess, the internet and TF2 and streaming and all of that. So even when shitty things happen, there's always that silver lining you've got to look for, and this was a pretty big silver lining, I guess you could say, to a really shitty situation. So I hope you guys enjoyed. There's more coming to this little series, I guess you could call it, because it all happened in about 5 months, this whole bit of shenanigans. I called it last time, so I'll continue to call it that. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys either in my stream or in the next video again. Take it easy, guys.